Hi everyone, welcome into My Chamber TV, the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly, and with me is my co-host, Mr. Paul Friedlander.
Nice to be here, as always. They go so fast.
I know.
It just seems like we were doing Tuesday, that's probably been 2 weeks, but it seems like it was yesterday.
I know, the whole year.
We have so much fun.
Hey, we do have a lot of fun with West Pasco. And I'll tell you, one thing that is not fun is looking for a trustworthy, honest mechanic for your car. So Paul just happened to bring Presta Auto Repair with James Presta, owner, and been in business for 10 years. And good afternoon. It's so great to have you here.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and this whole edification of you is all about you being trustworthy, which I have found such a hard time trying to find somebody that will tell me the real deal about my car.
It's very hard to find an honest mechanic.
Exactly, it is. And so tell me about your business and your certifications and what cars you're working on.
Well, I've been in business for 10 years. We opened up in 2007. Saw a lot of people getting ripped off by cars, and I worked for various dealers, and they were not nice to customers, and I swore I was going to open my own shop and not be like that. We do foreign, domestic, European, all those type of cars.
That's music to my ears because my BMW is sitting in my garage right now, as I was telling you before the show. So let's talk about dealers, okay, with all due respect. What kind of stories were you naming names as far as like your customers?
I had one customer come in probably about 7 years ago when I left a certain dealership. She had gotten a bill for the dealership for $1,400 to fix her car, but they told her we're not 100% sure it's going to fix it. So she's a little old lady crying. She goes to the cashier to get her car, and the cashier gives her my number. Hey, he used to work here. He opened his own shop. He's a real good guy. She brought it in. Within 5 minutes, the car was fixed. And I didn't even charge her.
Oh, bless your heart. Because you do the right thing.
Yeah,
wow.
All it was they tried to sell her everything under the sun. All it was a certain type of car has like this paste that goes on the brake pad to stop it from moving and making noise, and that's all it was. And they tried to sell her everything under the sun, and that's all it was.
Gosh, they've just got such a reputation for things like that.
And they do, and I know that, and again, not to belittle, there's good people out there along with everything else.
Right.
Of course.
But I know even when we first moved down here, we used to take it to one of the big box stores, for lack of, not big box, but from one of the standards. And it was like you take it in for an oil change, and there was always like $1,200 worth of stuff that needed to be fixed, like every time.
Yeah. It's common in dealerships, honestly. Our service manager used to come have meetings once a week and say, hey, every car that comes into your bay, we need at least $500-600 on that car to keep our doors open. What if they don't need it? I don't care, sell something. Mm-hmm. So after about a year, I just got tired of that kind of stuff because that wasn't me, and I just decided to open my own shop.
You know, that's not the first time that I've heard that. My son had his own dealership. He was in a partnership, and he told me that his partner actually told me that, not naming any names, but some of these dealers actually make a commission for the repairs and everything. So it's just maddening because we need our cars, and to be able to have somebody that's trustworthy, and especially when you see a female coming in, because I'll be the first one to say, I'm a typical girl. I don't know anything about anything except where to put the gas, how to start the car. And so,
well, you should at least don't tell them that.
I don't.
That's good.
I don't, but it doesn't matter. Well, I stopped going. I don't go to dealers anymore.
Yeah,
and
you can't. They're very expensive. Their labor rate's very expensive, and they want. See, the problem is mechanics work on commission. They don't get a salary. Mm-hmm. So whatever they sell, that's how they get paid.
Just commission.
Just commission.
Really?
Yeah, it's called like a flat rate. So they get paid, say, $20 an hour flat rate. So let's just say they do a brake job. It pays 2 hours labor. They only make $40 on the brake job, but the dealership will charge you $500, and the mechanic gets $40. So the more that they can sell, the more money they get in their paycheck.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
That's not nice.
That's the way it works. Up in New York, when I was in New York, where I worked for dealers, you had a 40-hour guarantee. So you were guaranteed 40 hours, whether you made those hours or didn't make those hours. If you went above 40 hours, you got more hours in your paycheck. If you didn't, you still got paid for 40. So it wasn't so much as a cutthroat or try to sell people and rip people off. Down here, it's a right to work state, and they pay you by the job, not by the hour, and that's why it is what it is.
So you decided to go on your own. This was really motivating for you, clearly. So you must be feeling really good at the end of every day when you know you can look at yourself in the mirror and help those little old ladies. You know,
it helps me sleep at night.
Exactly. So 10 years in the biz. How long were you learning all of this, or have you always been a mechanic?
I've been a mechanic since I was 15 years old.
Aha, very good. A little bit of experience,
For
huh?
the last 20 years.
That's so cool. So you've been a member since September 2016 with the chamber.
Yes, I was a chamber member when I first opened up, and I was for like 3 years, and then I stopped being a chamber member, and then I met Paul, and then he said, you got to get on it, and I said, okay, you know, because it was a good thing back then. And actually, back then when I first opened up, I used to work on all their cars at the chamber.
Yeah?
They wouldn't go to anybody else, they were coming to me.
See?
And some of them still come to me. Tina Tucker, she still comes. Tina Shelton, her husband, her ex-husband, Mark still comes. I have a couple other people from the chamber that still come.
You know?
Well, it's like
Paul
you said,
now
the key,
comes.
The key is it's finding somebody that you know is going to be honest with you. Because again, like you, we talk about girls, but I don't know anything about cars either. You know, so you've got to count on that mechanic, that shop to do you right. And they do. And he's got a really good guy in there by the name of Nelson that works with him. And they got some really cool cars in there they're working on now. It's was it Chris Baumeister?
Chris Baumeister's got a '58 Jaguar we're working on. I have a '77 Vet that we're restoring.
Yeah?
So we do. You know, I don't really get too much into the restoring of cars, but Chris had just bought this car and he asked me, hey, I don't want to bring it nowhere else but you. So I said, yeah. So we took it on.
That is so great. That is really great. So now, exactly where are you?
We are 8123 Ridge Road, in between Galen Wilson and Little Road, behind the Alpha Pizza.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
You're not too far from me.
No, not too far.
Just maybe calling you.
And here's the other thing, and I don't, you know, hopefully it's going to get to a point where it's not, but it's every time I've been there, it's pretty much been in and out. So you're not spending your whole life waiting there.
And if we are busy where you can't wait, we'll drop you off. We provide pickup and drop off service, which a lot of guys don't. And I was telling you backstage, 90% of my customers are women because I
treat them right.
I treat them right. And Paul will tell you, everybody that comes in there, we treat them like family.
Yeah.
We don't treat them like you're a customer or a number.
Yep.
We treat you like family. We joke around, you know, we tell jokes, we curse a little bit here and there, you know.
We had fun yesterday.
Yeah.
We had fun yesterday. I had new brakes put on the front. Yeah. And the young lady that was in there had was it coil?
Ignition coil, yeah.
Ignition coil.
On a Volkswagen.
Very cool. So you feel, you obviously came back to the chamber for a number of reasons. How have you found that they've helped your business?
Well, just networking with Paul, I've gotten some new clients out of it, and some old clients have come back that are still in the chamber.
Nice.
That way. Like
Very
again,
nice.
it's hard to. I mean, when we first moved down here from well, we were in Annapolis at the time, but when we first moved down here, it took us a while to find a mechanic. We finally found somebody down in the Pinellas area that was honest, took good care of you and stuff. But in the meantime, we were going to your chains.
Right.
And
stay away from
the
the chains.
Chains do the same thing.
Yeah, stay away from the chains. There was a thing on Facebook the other day.
Oh yeah, tell her about this.
There was a thing on Facebook. It was out in California. They did they had like a test car with cameras. 6 out of 9, I don't know if I can say their name, but 6 out of 9 places, it was the same chain place. They billed them for a fuel filter and a transmission service and never changed it.
And never did either.
6 out of the 9, and it was the same
and
place.
they had the fuel filter mark. So when they went back in, they could tell it hadn't been changed because it had their mark on it.
Oh my goodness. Well, you can
If there's
I
any-
have a feeling, I don't know who
If
that
there's
just
anything
might
I
be.
can say, stay away from the chains.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
their overhead is a little much higher,
Yes.
and they're there to make money. And not that I'm not there to make money, but I don't need to rob you of everything to make money.
Exactly. And you know, that
the little
is-
guys are really the ones you want to
course.
support, because they're
course.
struggling. Everybody's struggling, and
Right.
they're honest. The little guys are honest. Some of them aren't, but you got to find the ones that are.
Yeah, well, and you eventually know. You
Yeah.
eventually find out. We only have a couple minutes remaining, but that's another reason to be a member of a chamber. If you are a business owner or you know someone who's a business owner, you can hear these testimonials on, networking. And of course, nobody says no. Nobody says no to Paul,
I don't know
just
about
like
that.
Paul doesn't say no to anybody
That's
either.
true.
So I'm glad you guys rehooked up. And I think it's great. Again, I just want to let you know, Presto Auto Repair LLC, he's ASE certified and Toyota certified. You work on foreign cars. And if I
Foreign,
called
domestic.
you to get my car in, when could I get it in the same day or the
Yeah,
next day
yeah,
at
you can
least
get it in the
or
same
something?
day, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, very good, very good.
There are times where we are very busy. If you can still get it in, bring it to me. You may not get it done that day. It may be the next day. But
That's very fair. This may be a girl question to ask, but is there a difference between, your hourly rate? Is it fair to ask that?
I
Depending
charge
on the
$89 an hour.
How much?
$89 an hour.
$89 an hour.
And
Okay.
it doesn't fluctuate, if you're a woman or a man, it's $89 an hour, and we go by book time. So
Okay.
if the job is 5 hours book time, we charge 5 hours book time.
Okay.
There's a lot of people out there who don't go by the book, and you're supposed to.
So they charge more than that,
Yeah.
or whatever they just feel like doing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And with brake jobs, they usually run 2.5 hours. I don't charge 2.5 hours, because then you look like a $400 brake job. I charge an hour, because it really takes 45 minutes to take brakes apart and put them back together.
I can vouch for it.
That's honesty.
For 2.5 hours, you figure you're talking what, $267 is 2.5 hours? No, 178 and 44. So
Yeah.
$222
Yeah.
plus the brakes. You're talking $350. My brake jobs usually run between $220 and $240.
Did you know my car was sitting in the garage? Is that one reason why you brought this
Yes, I knew
wonderful
exactly.
business owner in?
Yes.
Well, I want to thank you
And the
both
next
for
people
joining
coming
us.
on, I heard
Thanks for
you have
having me.
mosquitoes in your backyard.
I know. Yeah, I don't. You never know.
And you know what else is motivating?
What?
He's got 4 dogs and 6
Oh,
kids.
that's right. I love that.
Yeah,
You're a family guy. You've got 6 kids and 4 dogs.
Well, my wife, I have 3 kids. My wife has 3 kids, so we
That's
have
6.
6
kids.
We have a granddaughter. We have
Yay.
4 dogs, 3 cats,
Wow, I love it. Well,
Family
4
my-
cars, 6 cars, 2 motorcycles. Got it all.
Well, we
Family
love
guy.
supporting family-owned businesses.
And to
We really
renew
do.
faith in America, he left his wallet in Leesburg this weekend,
Oh
At
yeah.
Bike Fest.
and it had how much in it?
I had about $450 cash plus all my credit cards, and I went back, found it, and the guy said, I knew you dropped it, I saved it for you, and all the cash was still there.
There you
See,
go, baby.
classic case of what goes around comes around. And on that note, we're going to say thank you very much, and hopefully you will be calling this fine young man. We're taking a break, and we'll be right back. Hi, everyone. Welcome into My Chamber TV, the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly. With me is Paul Friedlander from the West Pasco Chamber of Commerce. And we actually have Mosquito Hunters of Tampa Bay, Wes Rogers, joining us.
Thank you.
We're going to talk skiers and find skaters. And you're like a fairly new business.
Yes, ma'am.
And new to the West Pasco Chamber of Commerce.
As
Yes.
of April.
We
Yeah.
joined about a month ago, and so far so good. We're based out of Lutz, but I live over in this side of town, and we do a lot of business in West Pasco. So I said, I better join.
So that's pretty fabulous. Do we have a high population of those little critters?
Absolutely, Florida. Florida's basically a swamp that they just took dirt from one point, moved it to another, and built on it, and made a retention pond. And so it's every pest out there. It's it's heaven.
I bet. I bet.
This is the state that if you can get by in this state, it's downhill from there. So.
Well, I'll tell you, when you have pets and kids and things like that, and mosquito bites and all that, it certainly is a good idea for prevention and all that. Tell me about your business and what makes you different than some of the other mosquito busters out there.
Well, it started out of Chicago, and the owner, Brandon Allen, started it back in August. But we didn't actually go live as a company until January when I came along. I hold the pest license for the company and do all the training for the company. And I liked the idea of mosquitoes because it's a little more of a niche market because there's so many pest control companies out there. This is a little more, like I said, a niche market. And there's a huge market for it, especially in certain areas of Tampa. It's unbearable. People can't enjoy their own backyard, can't enjoy eating dinner. And this time of year, at about dusk, it's cool enough to be outside.
Sure.
But you get picked up and carried away. They're bad down here. So that's what I like about it. It was a chance to get a little more specific into a business and a chance to really help people because everybody wants to be able to enjoy their own backyard.
Especially down here in Florida. A lot of people move down here for all those reasons. So do you have to go through some kind of a state certification for this?
So in Florida, to have a pest control company, which is what we actually are, you have to have a general household pest license to operate underneath, which is what I hold for the company.
Okay.
And in that, it just basically makes sure that you practice proper pest control procedures, integrated pest management, which is more than just putting out a chemical. It's looking for problem areas and fixing those, and how can we get all sides of the problem taken care of.
So
Because it's not just going out and spraying. If you've got
see.
standing water buckets or anything in your backyard that are holding standing water, heck, that alone can breed so many mosquitoes.
Oh, of course. So you educate your
Yes, ma'am.
residents.
We
that-
believe in educating our customers on things that they can do to help to decrease, population. We also look for problem areas, and we also treat those specifically. And mosquitoes, they don't bite us for food. It's only the females that bite us, and it's for reproduction purposes. They actually eat in shrubs, trees, vegetation. So that's what we're actually treating. We're treating the problem areas. The cities that when they come out and spray are a little more reactive than they are like us. We're proactive. So.
That makes a lot of
And
sense.
you guys have programs. I know you talked about it at our last brochure exchange. The treatment lasts for approximately how long?
Approximately 3 weeks. The first treatment, you get about 70% reduction typically. We have a power treatment if it's a real problem where we come once a week for 3 weeks. But usually by the third treatment, even if we're only doing it every 3 weeks, you get about 90% reduction. And there is no, unfortunately, 100%, which would be great, but unfortunately you can't quite get that. But we can make it so that you can enjoy your yard and you're not getting bitten up like crazy.
Right. It's doable. It's manageable.
Yes, ma'am.
I see. Very good. So what's your lead time? If I call you today, how soon
Typically
can you go?
24 hours.
Really?
If you catch us usually before noon, there's a chance we can get out that day, but typically within 24 hours, especially if you're having a problem, we have a happiness guarantee. So if you're not, we come and we spray and 3 days later you're not happy, we don't ask questions. We come back and we look at what can we do better, what can we retreat.
Very
we
nice.
believe in that customer service relationship over anything else.
Very nice. So is it contractual?
No, there is no contract. We do an introductory treatment for $39 that gives you a chance to see our product and how it works and the results. And then we have packages you can buy, 8 treatment packages, 16 treatment packages, year or half year. Obviously, the more you buy, the better discounts you get.
Sure.
And then we come out every 3 weeks. But let's just say you've got a party coming up and it's not within falling in that time. Just let us know. Hey, look, I really want it to be great for when all my guests get here. We'll come out a couple days prior. We'll work with you to make sure that you're going to have the best experience.
Very nice.
There you go.
So let's talk about some dangerous insect-borne illnesses like the Zika virus and the West Nile virus. This is really some eye-openers. We've heard about all of that, but let's really hear it from you.
Well, so you have the Zika virus, which is the biggest scare that's going around here. There's a few
Right.
reported cases in Pinellas County. I believe a year or two ago there were some reported cases in Hillsborough as well. There are only 2 mosquitoes that actually can carry the Zika virus. There's around 54 different species of mosquitoes in the Tampa area, but only 2 can actually carry it. You're going to ask me the name, and I'm never going to be able to remember it because you get into the long, strange names,
Right.
the Latin names. But basically, this mosquito doesn't care for, it prefers man-made standing water to do reproduction versus like lakes, ponds, and so forth. So that's why it's really important to make sure that you keep those areas in your yard clean and taken care of, so you're not bringing that one.
Like my pretty little bird bass, freestanding man-made water.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a product that does not harm birds that we can put in there, but we'll make sure that the larvae don't grow.
Really?
Absolutely. We have all natural products for those that don't want a pyrethrin they are being treated with that, maybe have an allergic reaction to it or so forth. We have all natural products, like it's rosemary and thyme. The Simon and
Oh,
Garfunkel
you're talking
song.
my lingo. I love it.
Sage, baby.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. Well, we're in a community where they have the pest control and they come out. I've begged and pleaded for them not to spray my yard because of my Yorkies and everything, but they don't care. They do their thing. Do I have a bug problem? Well, I guess not, because of those harsh chemicals, and they put their little beware signs in. So this is music to my ears.
Well, and just to, unfortunately, pyrethrins get a bad name, and it's not. It's important to do the right thing, ethically do the right thing, follow the label, do it the right way. And if you do, these products are relatively safe for humans and for pests, especially once they dry. It's when people don't follow the label and they don't do it the right way that you run into the real bigger problems, which is one thing our company believes in. Doing ethically the right thing.
Sure, sure.
We believe in being transparent with the state. We believe in a great relationship with the DAX, the state Department of Agriculture, because they have a lot of knowledge that can help us.
Sure.
We can pass it on to our customers.
And to give you an example, Barbara, I know we're probably winding down on time. I think you've met Don Wright with Night Pest
yes,
Control.
yes.
Well, they've already started to work together because they don't mess with the mosquito side of things. So it's what we always talk about. It's always about collaboration versus competition.
You bet.
There's plenty of business out there for everybody. And I do need to ask, and I hope it's not going to put you in an awkward position. You talked about how the counties have their own mosquito control, but it's more of a reactive versus proactive. Does that really help? Or is it just a short-term sort of boom hit? And the second question I had for you is, what about the homes that have the misters?
Okay, great question.
That has what?
Misters.
Misters. So
Yeah.
I'll go in.
Misters. Okay. Yeah.
I'll tell you about both of them. So with the county, they're a little more, like I said, reactive. They concentrate actually more in large swampy areas that are not really for residential. And if an area gets bad enough, they will run their trucks through, and they usually do it at night. And the reason why they do it at night, same thing as us, but we treat to protect the bees. They're treating at night because bees aren't going to be out flying, and they're not going to be killing. And we do the same. We don't treat flowering plants directly because we don't want to harm the bees as well. Just I think that's very important. Again, that's doing the ethically the right thing.
Right.
We can still give you great coverage without harming other wildlife. And that's why they come at night. But it's much on a much larger scale. That the government, does theirs. And as for the misters, I'm going to give you my opinion.
We have just a minute.
1 minute,
It can be a
perfect.
quick one.
Because somebody that installs them is obviously not going to agree with me, but what we don't believe they target the area. They just are up around the eaves and they spray 2 or 3 times a day, which is nice, but we believe in targeting the area. Less chemical, much more impact when we are doing it. It's better for the environment.
Oh, that's so great. Well, good luck with being a new member with the West Pasco. It's Mosquito Hunters of Tampa Bay. It'll be easy to remember that one. Wes Rogers, thank you so much for enlightening us on skeeters. We'll be right back. More from the West Pasco Chamber of Commerce. We'll be right back.
Who are we?
Oh, and
Welcome
now.
back, guys. I'm Paul Friedlander. I'm the Membership Development Director for the West Pasco Chamber and have the privilege and honor of being able to co-host twice a month with my lovely host over here, Ms. Barbara Marville Kelly. Check out this red outfit she's got on. Is she not smoking hot today?
You are too funny. Speaking of smoking hot, we've got a very prominent member in the community.
Yes.
Jeff, say your last name so I don't mess it up.
DeLigio.
DeLigio.
Yes.
And you are coming to us. You do the event center over at the Verizon Event Center, and I've been to several of them, and you do an absolutely stellar job.
Thank you.
And you've been over there for how long?
We're going on a little over 7 years.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's been a while.
And
This was his concept. He took it to his bosses and said, we need to convert this into an event center.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
Wow. And you've been a member with West Pasco for how long?
Since
It's been 7 years as well. We actually joined a chamber right at the onset of us starting the event center. It was actually before, when we were just strictly had the wireless portion before we created the event center.
Well, that's pretty smart, right? So you guys are smoking over there, doing all kinds of different events. I mean, really awesome events.
Yes.
So tell us about it. Tell our audience more about it.
Well, the event center, just like we've been talking about, has started a little over 7 years ago. We do anything from events from 5 to over 500. What I'd say is we do personal and corporate events. We can customize it any way you want. You can come in and we can let you do your thing, or we can go ahead and make it all inclusive and, connect all the dots for you. Our big thing is, we source everything out to other businesses in the community. The bulk of them are all chamber members. We don't make money off those relationships. Our big thing is, just like the chamber concept, is to create a referral relationship and say, hey, go talk to this guy or to this gal for this or that, and we just bring it all together just to provide that service for the customer, whatever their needs are, whether it's a wedding, whether it's a birthday party, or a meeting one-on-one in our conference room.
That's very cool. 10,000 square feet
Yes.
of area. That's pretty good size.
Yeah, it's good size.
I know we've streamed over there numerous times. A lot of different events. So that's very cool.
Here's what makes it really unique, and Jeff will probably get into it, but what makes it unique is that anybody that's done a conference or a banquet or done any type of an event at a venue, particularly, and not a shop because everybody serves purpose, it's all collaborative, but particularly at a hotel, they will talk to you. You need a microphone, that's going to be an extra $50 or $100. You need a screen, you need an LCD projector, you need extra TVs. Gosh forbid that you need to have copies made or something like that. This gets back to customer service because these guys do it all. And it's included in it's not, oh, that'll be another 10 cents and that'll be another $1.50 and that'll be another, and this will be the tax on that. No, you're paying Jeff one price and they go above and beyond. If somebody needs help setting up their booth, Jeff, Nikki, or somebody on the staff is out there helping them set it up. That's what makes them stand out above what everybody else does.
Absolutely. And when you have family-owned businesses coming in and they want to get rolling and get involved with the different events that are going on, it's good to know that you have somebody that's not going to nickel and dime you to death.
Well, absolutely. I think that's the big thing. That's probably the reason why we're doing you guys are doing the show, and it's about the local community. We did not have a way to connect with the local community when we first opened up that store. Again, I'm still a guy that sells you your next cell phone, so that's important. Come see us directly at the event center.
Yes.
But that tool to go ahead and bring in traffic was really meant to go ahead and create an opportunity and create a platform for other local business owners to come in, go ahead and display their product or service, whatever that is, and we want to put things together so they have an environment to go ahead and grow their business just like us.
What a great business plan that you went to your boss with. So did you always have all that, or did you expand? I wasn't there from the beginning.
Yeah, no, I mean, we had the building. The building is a converted CVS building. What we did is we took over the store. The front of the store was built out just for the retail portion of it. The idea was to go in and connect with some nonprofits in the area. I have a Marine Corps background, so we connected with a local veteran organization to go ahead and help them raise some money. One event turned into 2, turned into 3, and then it became a full-time part of our business model that go ahead and have an event center to do events that has some sort of charity or some sort of mission attached to it.
Wow.
And I'm not sure, I know a lot of people watch this show, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that. Talk to them because you have another location now.
Yes, thanks for asking. We just opened up another location in Largo. It's on the corner of Belcher and East Bay. And so same concept over there. That's a converted Walgreens. So we have a lot of square footage and open it up to the public.
So
I tell you, it's amazing what they do over there, really.
Yeah, it is. And it's, and Jeff mentioned something else, and I'm going to harp on it for a second. He mentioned about the fact that they don't think of it just as the event center. They are also a Verizon cellular sales store.
Right.
And you talked about it when we had James on here, when we had Wes on here, about customer service. And I think most people are like I am. That's when I take my car somewhere, if I buy my insurance somewhere, whatever I do, I like to deal with the same person.
Same person, me too.
And that's the advantage of, don't be afraid to walk around back or tell them that you want to talk to Jeff when you go to the store, because that's the advantage of working with Jeff and Nikki and the other couple of staff members they have back there, is you can call Jeff and say, Jeff, I've got a challenge with my phone. Bring it in, let me see what I can do to fix it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think just like in any other sales environment, we want to work personally with our clients. We want to go ahead and have that relationship. It's also a way for us to quantify the impact of the event center is by having people work directly with us, so our department can compete with all the other departments. We have 2 event centers, but we have 33 stores, growing to 41 stores. So it's a way we can go ahead and quantify the impact of the event center and make sure the people that don't see the events day to day understand what's going on.
You know, it'd be cool. We need to sneak Cheyenne on here one time.
Let's go. We'll get the big boss in here.
Cheyenne's the one that's responsible for these 41 stores. And
Oh, yes,
and he's
that would
all
be
of
great.
about what, late 30s or
Yeah,
maybe
he's
early 40s?
39 years old.
39 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good.
Must be a visionary.
Yes,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and he was definitely, at the beginning, the one that's, we sat down and, brought the ideas together. So it's been a big support. Our company has, again, almost growing on 41 stores, and we have a lot more stores, of course, outside the area, 600 total. So
Very nice, nice.
And we should thank him for his service too. He's a Marine.
That's right. Thank you very, very much.
Oh, thank you. No problem.
Absolutely. So what are some of your upcoming current events?
Wow. Well, as far as the recurring events, we have what we call the Fest. The Fests are what we call spring, summer, winter, fall fest. Each one's tied to a theme. The one we just had was on April 8th. It's our Spring Fest. Obviously, it's a free Easter egg hunt for the kids. But that, obviously draws into traffic. So the 60 plus vendors have a way to interact with the community. There's always some sort of charitable piece, a canned food drive like that we did on that one for the Homeless Coalition of Pasco County. Next one is a Summer Fest, Fall Fest again, for around Halloween, and then back to Winterfest for Toys for Tots. So not to mention a list of other stuff. And they can go to eventcenterpasco.com and check out the different things we do. Same on Facebook as well.
That's great. That was my next question for you. Well,
Good.
with all those events going on, I mean, it does keep you busy. How far in advance do you have to start for the next one? Immediately afterwards?
Immediately after.
I thought so. I thought
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Because you do such a great job, and it takes really strategic planning and getting your team together for all that.
Well,
so.
yeah, I mean, we have a good team. We have a good staff with us. We have Nikki Robles that works with us. She's involved with the B-Night groups and does a lot of the marketing. Mike Henniger, he helps with the orchestration and everything behind it. The setup, but he's integral with connecting with the community as well. And then a new individual we just brought on for Largo, a gentleman by the name of Valdez Johnson, who helps with the wireless and heads up that center as well. So
It's great.
It is.
I don't think there's anything you don't do,
yeah.
practically.
Yeah, I think that's the problem.
The fests are very successful because they
Yes,
bring in
they
this
are.
phenomenal MC from out of state to do them every time.
Who's that? I wonder who that is.
It's my evil twin.
Wait a minute.
it's-
I thought you were parking cars or
I
no, you
do
direct
that-
the
I do
traffic.
that before.
And you do both.
Before and after.
Exactly.
Yeah, he does
Seriously,
everything,
That I tell
Before and
you,
after.
that is the close knit of the family community. I swear, when I have gone to the Pasco events, I don't ever have to worry about where to park because there is Paul right at the gate up front. It's great. It shows that
We do
you
have fun. and like I
jump
said,
right in there.
Like I said in the notes, this is one of the biggest giver backers to the community. There's a lot of them in this community, but Jeff really steps up with, especially when you think of the facility that he has and some of the things he does for people. So we do
That's what it's
appreciate
about.
it.
Yeah,
We
we
do
appreciate working with
appreciate it.
everybody.
That's what
This
it's
community
about.
does a good job working together.
Well, you've been on our show several times. What do you think of the Chamber Show?
Actually, I don't like it at all. I don't know why I'm on here. I think we should go ahead and cancel this thing right now.
Last time I invited Paul to
No,
work.
I think it's another tool that I think it's great watching other folks that were on the show. Again, I think it's we're all in a different way doing the same thing. Creating a way to impact the community. This guy. Obviously the show gives businesses a presence to get out there and to connect with people that may or may not know them. Let them hear their story a little bit. So. I think it's a great idea. I mean, everybody, gets an opportunity to go ahead and show their strengths, and
Yes.
I think the show's platform obviously does a great job displaying that. So,
Yep, we do our very best. 3 years now.
Yes, ma'am.
And
It
West
has been
Pasco was our first one
one
that when
back in
we came
April,
out of the
3
gate
years
and
ago, yeah.
started. Yeah.
down in the bayou in Tarpon.
I know, right? We just travel around. Well, I want to thank you for joining us, and I'm sure we'll see you again around town. And
I'm sure you will.
continued good luck
Absolutely.
where you're at. And now I know I can share with everyone where to come to have their phones checked out too.
Absolutely. Just
please.
give
All
us a call.
phone, all phones.
Anything.
Anything.
Don't go to the front of the store. Come see us at the event center so I can make my bosses happy. And
There
they can-
you go.
And then they can spend more money in the event center.
There you go. They can
So-
get a chance to see that.
That's
All
how it
right.
works.
Well, thank you.
No problem.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining us. We'll be right back with Paul and I to tell you what's happening in the community.
events.
I know, I just may even show up. How
I
about
know,
that?
and we
Hey.
may just be back on.
Oh, we may
sometime.
just be. How about that?
But right now we're talking, so please don't bother us.
Anyway, welcome back to My Chamber TV. Paul is going to stay in this last segment to tell us what's happening. We were just talking about not Cinco de Mayo, we were talking about Diaz de Mayo because...
Diaz de Mayo, because the young professionals of the West Pasco Chamber of Commerce are having a social, and it's going to be on May 10th, because as a chamber, we try to stay away from Friday nights and Mondays and things like that to respect people's schedules. So I believe May 10th is probably a Wednesday, I'm thinking. Yeah, because today's the 3rd, so it's a week from today, May 10th. So it's Diaz de Mayo instead of Cinco de Mayo. They're going to have, they've got some beer coming in from Big Storm. It's going to be at Rose's Cafe, which is right there at the corner of Grand, and I always get this wrong. It's either Missouri or Nebraska, and it's going to be outside on the patio. If you're a YPG member, which is being 21 to 40 and being a member of the YPG for the West Pasco Chamber, it's free. And if you're not a YPG member, they're going to have food out there. It's $5 to get in.
See,
I mean, yeah,
you don't have to be a member, and for those of you that aren't in that age
Yeah.
group,
Exactly.
it went right over his head.
For those of us that, for you that don't fit the age group that Barb and I fit into, that have to pay because you're not 21 to 40.
Exactly.
Now, we have the YPG is the young professionals. For
And they are amazing.
They are an awesome group
Yes.
of young men and young women. And it's an interesting, real quick story, Barb, because I was on the board, before I came to this side of the desk, I was on the board the year when I first joined the chamber 9 years ago, 9 years ago, I think it was. The young professionals were young in age, young at heart, young in business. So basically it was open to anybody.
Yes.
And we finally got to a point where, I said, there's so many people in the community like you and me that don't know how to say no. And it's not self-fulfilling, it's
Right.
just we don't know how to say no
Right.
and we want to help.
Right.
And so somebody suggested we make it 21 to 40. And I said, I think that's a wonderful idea, because my thought process was, if you don't start getting them involved, I mean, I was still, before they changed it, I was still treasurer for them.
Yeah.
So if you don't start getting them involved, I said, they're going to end up being our age before they do anything.
No, and they are going to end up having to go to adulting classes.
Yes, exactly.
I am serious. We talked about this at our networking meeting Tuesday morning.
Right.
About the younger generations. And when we first started working together, you were the one that introduced me to the young and upcoming professionals.
Right.
And we had several of them on the show. Gosh, I think, Becky Bennett was one
Bennett,
of them.
Julie Rogers was on the
yes,
show.
they came on the show, but I have to tell you, they have such respect for us seniors, if
Right,
you
they
will.
do, they do.
And vice versa, because they have all of this techie knowledge, and we've got a few years under our belt
Right.
in business to be able to share. So it's really a great
And
collaboration.
it is, and I think the key, and I've seen it happen in other places, a lot of times what happens where it sort of fails or loses its meaning is you get people our age that don't think we can learn anything anymore from
Right,
them.
right.
But it works the other way too.
Yes, it
They're at
does.
a point where, oh, you guys are old, what can we learn from you? We know everything.
right,
So
right.
that's what's so neat about this group. They do understand that we have things that we can teach
Mm-hmm,
them, but you and I are in a place, no matter what age we are right now, that we also understand that we can learn from them.
Oh my goodness, absolutely.
And not just techie stuff, just,
No.
you just
Life,
have to sit and
just
listen
on
to
life.
people. Yeah.
And what the millennials are going through, a lot of them are being grouped and people generalizing that, oh, they're this group of this people. And that's not the case. We had that experience over at Marchman.
Yes.
Back for Business Development Week. And can I just tell you, my husband and I were blown away with the goal setting that these kids,
Yes.
they were, 16, 17, 18, and every single one of them knew where they were going. They had such a great spirit and everything. That was a wonderful experience. I want to volunteer next year.
I know. Well, we want you to come back next
Yeah,
year. We're going to see if we can get Mr. Gaston to come next year.
Yeah.
He said he was, but he was really busy. That was when they were making some of the transition
Yeah,
stuff. So we're going to make
exactly.
him come this
Yeah.
year. The other event, I got some fun stuff to talk to you about today, but the other event coming up is on May 16th.
Okay.
And that's business card bingo put on by the other group within the chamber, the ambassadors.
That's a fun thing, isn't
That's
it?
going to be at the Elks. We still have some numbers left. I got to tell you, what a great way to advertise your business. For $50, you get 2 numbers. So every time the ball comes out and it's 066, it'll be 066 Tampa Bay Multimedia. 075 Barbara Marville Kelly Inc. I mean, Every time the ball comes out with the square that you've selected, they call the company's name.
That's cool.
There's going to be 10 games. Guys, it is a blast. I'm going to tell you right now, there's 10 games. It's $10 to come in. There's going to be food and cocktails and stuff there. More importantly, the one thing I'm going to say is if you're a real serious bingo player, don't come. You will not enjoy yourself, because last year, first time we did it, there were people talking through the whole thing, and some of the real serious bingo players were getting really not happy. Because, I guess if you're a real serious bingo player, you just sit there and listen.
You play bingo.
You don't talk.
Yeah.
So if you want to come play bingo and have a lot of fun, please do. If you're a real serious bingo person, you're more than welcome, but I'm just warning you. There's going to be a whole bunch of people talking around you and having fun because they just don't know any better.
Yeah, that is. Now, how long have they been doing that?
This is only the second year.
Yeah, because I remember last year.
Yeah, this is only the second year. It'll be back at the Elks. The other thing, before we go, two things. One is I always want to shout out back to my office, President of the Chamber, Chip Wickmanowski, our front office administrator and front office coordinator, I apologize, our front office coordinator and manager of First Impressions, Ms. Kim with a Y Liberty, my buddy that's in the event, my event coordinator buddy, Miss Liz Meismer, and my newest buddy, our assistant administrator in the office, Miss Monique Malin. And then the other ones we have to thank are the guys behind the scenes here. You have Alex and Vinny, you've got the man himself, Mr. John Gaston. Can't tell you enough what
Dylan.
it means to us, and Dylan, yes.
Dylan's doing shows now,
and
too.
I can't tell you enough what it means to our
Bob.
community for what you guys do. So,
Craig.
and Bob and Dylan and Bob
And Eric.
Dylan and
We have
I
a
didn't know
whole
Bob
list.
Dylan was here. But guys, again, I know we say it every time, but I truly mean it. You guys are a blessing to our community, you're a blessing to our chamber, and we appreciate everything you do. And you, especially, young lady, thank you, because I know you could do this just fine without me around. So I appreciate that.
It's great. I love having you because you know what's going on in the community more than I have, but I have really been enlightened and raising the awareness for My Chamber TV. I really do have a passion for it, and it gives me a better handle on what's going on in the community and has enlightened me to the needs in the community.
And has kept her very busy.
Yeah.
We have kept her very busy with one event after another. I believe
know.
2 Dancing with the Local Stars, and who knows what else we have in your future. But
Oh my goodness! You had me speaking at the Business Development Week for
Yep.
Successful Businesswomen, and I just have to say, Joan and Tammy Fields and I, we received the People's Choice Award.
Yes.
Who knew?
And we had your husband speaking for the
Yes.
kids last year,
Yes.
and we appreciate that. And do you know this is going to be the 25th anniversary of Business Development Week this year?
Oh my gosh!
Well, next year, January of 2018.
And you guys do such an amazing job.
It's just, it's phenomenal. And again,
Yeah.
it all boils down to, that's my favorite day. That's why I love putting it together with Rob Aegis, is the kids,
he's a
the
delight.
education days. And we get business people like yourself and John and everybody out in the community to come in and
I
talk
know.
to the kids.
It's like a big
so
happy
much fun.
family.
It is, and I think it's a good lesson for the kids to see what a big happy family it is.
No doubt.
And the one thing I wanted to talk to you about, and I'd love to do this as a segment, but I had the privilege yesterday of being we do a quarterly lunch and learns for the West Pasco Board of Realtors. And each quarter we have 4 different business partners, and of course the West Pasco Chamber is one of the
Sure.
business. So I did a presentation yesterday, and it's not about your business, it's about, what do you think I talked to them about yesterday? I talked to them about networking and marketing.
Yes.
And how to go out and shake a hand and meet somebody new. And I do that for the Youth Leadership Pasco class also. And all I'm going to tell somebody, if you're a business, you're up and starting, or you're even an existing business, smile at people when you see them. If you're not like Barb and I, and you don't just walk up to anybody and say hello, get used to just walking by somebody and smiling.
You
And
know, that's
eventually
true.
walk up, shake their hand, and just say hello. Even if you don't want to have a conversation, smile, shake
Right.
their hand, and say hello.
Right.
Say, my name's Paul Friedlander, what's yours?
You know, and there's so much to be said for that, because you never know what kind of a day somebody's having,
Nope.
and what a smile can do to turn things around.
Right. And you're talking to 2 people here that both believe in karma, so nothing but good can come from that.
That's true.
And I think that not only shows up in your personal life and everything else, but it shows up in your business life too, guys. And
Yep.
I didn't mean to wax philosophical here, but I think tell you how important it is.
It really is.
To
How
get
long-
out there and meet people.
How long have you been doing the West Pasco director?
I have been the membership development director. June 9th of this year will be 3 years already.
Oh, okay.
And I'm still the guy that people will call and say, I need to meet this person, or do you know this person? And I sometimes go home at night because in all fairness, I live in Palm Harbor. I spend my life up here, and somebody says, well, why don't you move up here? And I said, my challenge with moving up here is if I moved up here, I'd piss off 135 realtors, 55 mortgage people, and 14 title agencies because I wouldn't know who to pick. And they'd go,
Boy,
how come you didn't call me?
Isn't that the truth?
So that's why I don't move up here. But I got to tell you, I go home at night sometimes and just wonder, thinking, how did I end up meeting all these people? How did I end up knowing
You know
these
what?
people? Sometimes it's just
I
like,
do the same thing,
it's
and
just-
and they're coming to me, okay, here on the Chamber Show.
Yeah.
But I was just I keep all my notes
Yeah.
from all the businesses and all the people, all the guests that have come on the show, and I'm going, wow, we really bring in a lot of people and get to know a lot of people, a lot of charities.
Yep.
So the show has really been very, very successful.
has.
And on a personal note, really, I've met a lot of people, great people that I can refer to and
Yep.
feel good about. So
they pick up the phone and call, and
know.
not to be cocky, I think I told you the story. A few weeks ago we were down in Tarpon for the Heart Festival, and my granddaughter, who just did her Project of Worth, which I believe we've got her set. I haven't confirmed absolutely, but I think we're going to have her on your next My Charity TV, which is the third Wednesday of this month.
Yes.
And she gets back in the car after asking David Wright if she can help pass out his brochures for wheelchairs for kids. She gets back in the car and she says, Grandma, she goes, it is really cool being a Freelander.
No doubt.
And I don't mean that in a cocky way. It's just she sees the other side of things, and it's nice,
Yes,
especially at that age, at 10 years old.
Oh my gosh, you're setting such an example for her. And to see these kids learn at such a young age, and of course your lovely wife,
Yes,
she's a
God bless
registered
her.
nurse and a beautiful soul and everything.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good
Yeah,
stuff. So
yeah.
that's great.
And we still, you know what? We're going to talk personal here for a minute. We still have to catch up for dinner with the four of us.
Yes, we are. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. Absolutely. So I think our time's almost up. Time to close our show and say our goodbyes. So I think it's a wrap, my
Another
friend.
good one, yes, and we will look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks, my friend.
Awesome.
Thank you guys
Thanks for joining us today.